Hi everyone, this is Suman from Infin8 Capital.
Yeah, this is Jason from Infin8 Capital as well.
Today we have
Hi,
Maunil with us, and Maunil, why don't you introduce yourself?
hi, Suman. Hi, Jason. Well, I can say I'm part of Infinite as well in a
Yes,
in a big way. So, thanks for having me today with you guys, and I'm happy to discuss, uh, about our goals, objectives, and how we got connected. So, yeah, thanks, and happy to be here.
awesome. And a little bit about Maunil. So Maunil and I, we know each other from real estate events and everything, and so today we have him on the podcast that Jason and I host in the Infin8 Capital group. So, Jason, if you have anything for Monel.
Wow. I myself, as everyone knows, am not a Bollywood star like Suman. He knows everybody. And I was fortunate enough to be a part of these amazing in-person events that Maunil put together. I didn't even know. I was not even comfortable meeting people, but I was very fortunate enough with Maunil's courtesy. I remember my first speaking engagement in front of the groups was at outside in the patio. I think
Yeah,
we got a mic and I was yelling. So that's all I remember. But I
that's
want to
true.
thank I thank Maunil for that, and it's great to see where Maunil is at today. I'm so happy, Suman. Maunil's part
Yep,
of our inner circle at Infinite.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's good to have. And Monel, for those who don't know you, do you
Yeah.
want to share a little bit about, what you do, how, and then when your journey in Canada, because Infinite Capital is all about helping immigrants through the power of real estate, right? So if you can talk a little bit about you and how your real estate you started.
For sure. So I've been in Canada for almost 18 years now, and I'm an IT sales professional by background, and I would say my real estate journey started in a very novice way, as I think a lot of majority of people does. Like so, initially, I bought my primary residence, my first residence in Canada in 2007, and in 2015 I started looking into investments, and my objective at that time was to buy properties for retirement. And I
Right.
bought one. So I bought. I started with condo initially, and I realized there was some uptake and the margins were good. So I sold those under assignment. So I did a couple of those cycles. I bought few condos that way,
Right.
and and profit margin was good. And then
Mm.
onwards, I invested in few properties here. So as I was mentioning, if you go back few seconds, my thought process at the time was to buy a property for my retirement, and then I thought, oh yeah, you know what, my next one should be, let's keep it for my son, for my RESP. So that would be my investment for my son's education. So that was the thought process, and I didn't know what I know now. So again, learning lessons. So lot to learn from those mistakes do happen when you don't put your investor hat and don't think from that mindset. Um,
Right.
so yeah, I invested in those, and then I met the Bollywood rock star and real estate rock star in
Right.
in 2020 in
Yeah, I think
2021
2021. Yeah,
one
that's the time
one.
we met. Yep.
So I met this awesome person called Suman Chakraborty, and got introduced to a community wherein we were connected. I learned a lot through our engagement, through our discussions, and I considered you as one of my mentor since then, right? And who has been there through thick and thin, has guided me, uh, and shared the knowledge. So I learned a lot through this process. And 2022, I would say, was more of my learning phase. I equipped myself with the knowledge, and I learned that I'm not good in numbers and in the writing. And also, what I thought of doing is join a mortgage brokerage, being a mortgage agent, so that way I can
Nice.
be uh, more have a more grip over over the underwriting. And I think there were a lot of people in with similar situation like myself, who I can even assist through my knowledge and my experience with the real estate investing. And after doing that, I also invested in a 47 unit Newfoundland deal
Right.
with with again none other than Suman and Jason,
Mm.
and with you guys.
Right.
And my goal this year is to have at least 40 units under my belt.
Awesome.
And I'm currently working with and then onwards, and in this new year or late last year, I decided to be part of Infin8 coaching group, which you have
Yeah.
started. And wow, I would say it was an eye opener. You guys have an amazing program, and your passion to help others. And I remember Jason having those, like the call started at 6 ish or 6 or 7, and it
Yeah.
goes on till like 10 or 10:30,
Yes.
and which like it, even my family was surprised like what I was doing for those long hours. But yeah, so looking at that passion, and yeah, I feel like I'm quite lucky to be part of this community and learning through you guys a lot in the
Right.
process. And even this small knit community, I even created a partnership within this
Mm.
community, and now we as a partners are looking to scale in multifamily portfolio in Edmonton right
Right.
now. So that's the area we are targeting. Apart from US investments, I'm part of another group in Ohio where we are
Nice.
looking for land development as well. So a lot of projects are going on right now.
Great.
And as Jason mentioned, I started uh, my this to contribute to this wider community. I started hosting the meetups
Right.
for the real estate community, and that's how I kind of started gathering people around me and created that environment, which we where we all kind of connected in a much better way. And we are also part of. We are taking this and leveraging this with Infin8 community as
Awesome.
well, and in the person meetups. So
Uh,
So, Monil, and thanks. There was a lot of wisdom nuggets that you shared based on your own practical experience. And, definitely Jason and I, we have seen, like we in the Infinite community, the transformation you had, like, I've seen Monil, like he's full of energy and enthusiasm, right? And I think Jason can agree too. Like, but the thing is, probably he was not say that he was not getting the direction, but, you
mm,
need, and that's why you need those direction and it happens with everyone, right? Like, even I have mentors, whom I look up to, and when they see me doing things, they will, like, they just navigate you to the right direction. So one great thing I like about Monil, and which I feel everyone, those who are watching this podcast, they should listen. Like, no matter which stage you are, always be humble enough to learn. Like, the day you feel you know everything, or there is nothing more to learn, I mean, that's where your growth stops. So one great thing which, Monil, we see in you, and all the Infinators, is they have the willingness to learn. There are many
yeah,
people, they're coming from, after investing in different programs, not that someone is better than the other, but every program, or including ours, we always are continuously improving. That's why we said on week one that, you know constantly let us know where we can improve, in spite of us mentoring. Jason and I, you remember, right, Jason? Like, week one was about, we are here to serve you, and so you all are our judges, and if you guys are not happy, and if you guys are not winning, definitely, it's Jason and I, we are not winning, right? So that is the first shift we saw in you. Like, you already have the willingness, you have a good real estate prior background, good sales experience, which you brought in. But one good thing was you have that willingness to learn and improve in spite of so many things, right? So you started with condo. How did you decide to transition in the multifamily space? That's number one. And what was the moment when you started looking outside Ontario?
Okay, the good question, Suman. So initially, when I was investing in condos, at that time I realized that okay, I sold it and I got an opportunity. There was the market was booming, and at that time, I kind of realized that there's a good profits to be made, and that's why I went and sold it under assignments and make some quick return, so cash. And as I mentioned earlier, my thought process was way different when I initially started investing. So I bought townhouses, I bought a duplex, but the real um, I would say the real investment had came into when we connected and I was part of this community, investing community, and that's when I realized how the real estate investment works and it should work basically. So how you scale your portfolio, how you develop your portfolio, and how you minimize the risk through multifamily uh, avenues, multifamily properties.
Mm.
So that's where I kind of became aware of it, and now I realize that the true potential to scale and build your portfolio. And real estate investment is not just about acquiring properties; it's more about how you build this consistent cash flow, leave a legacy behind you. So, uh, and as I'm inspired by you guys as well, right? I like what Jason always mentions about meaningful investments, which is that is what he does, and you guys have really been helpful in kind of opening more horizons and considering avenues for me to explore. So I'm grateful for that.
And I was going to say, Maunil, thank you, and I think for your also efforts, because I think you are having a great energy, and I think Suman
Yeah.
agrees with me, in our community that has inspired others too. And uh, but I mean, I know that Maunil, we have interacted in many different forums. What would you say has been what was the turning point? Because kudos and congratulations to you. I mean, you started with the traditional buy a property for your retirement to now having being a piece of U.S. Edmonton you're looking into. You mentioned Alberta, and then also being a partner, not just a small investor. We're talking about a partner with us in
Yeah.
our 47 unit portfolio deal, which of course, Suman, we'll talk about in a future podcast. I'm sure we'll get more details that we can
Yes.
market on in about. It's very exciting.
Uh,
But like Maunil, what if you could identify maybe one or two things? Now you mentioned Suman, of course. Anyone connecting with Suman, of course, is going to benefit, of course. But is there an experience? Is there a specific module or something about our program or anything that you experienced that is that sort of the trigger that helps you move?
yeah. So as I was mentioning earlier, 2022 was a little bit of setback for me. I was struggling with I was impacted in my work. So, and that kind of derailed some of my aspirations to move ahead. But when at the end of this year, the good thing happened is that I joined Infin8 community as well. And one of those sessions where we discussed about how to scoping the deals and how to uh, leverage the resources and scale within multifamily properties. And after I was feel like I felt that I was still stuck somewhere. As you probably know, and a lot of people who know me, I am being in sales. People skills are comes first to me. So I'm like a people person. I don't like I have those skills which I can leverage. And I was reaching out and networking is something which is my second nature. But still, I felt I was stuck somewhere, and I was not able to kickstart the journey as I should be, and I should be successful to the level which I wanted. But after going through those modules and talking with Suman, I think it was more of a mindset shift which was needed that was holding me back. So I realized that I'm one thing I still remember, which me and Suman discussed, that when I was putting things in place or plan in place, I was planning for step 10 which I haven't even taken step one. So I am of a nature where I need to have all like one from step 1 to step 10 all planned, and then the execution will happen. And I know that we discussed about, like, okay, take step one. This is what Suman told me, right? Like, okay, worry about step two, and then when you are step two, then think about step three, right? So that's what I think. It was more of a mindset shift.
Mhm.
And once I realized that, I immediately make a decision to, to be part of a great of the Newfoundland deal, uh, form the partnerships, to look for multifamily projects in Edmonton. So we are looking at anywhere from 15 to 25 units right now, and yeah, that kind of opened up a lot of opportunities. I think it's a mindset shift which was needed, and I'm excited to for 2024 and making some great
And
memories together. Yeah,
I was going to say that,
yeah,
just kudos to yourself. It's not only that, you sort of made that shift, but it takes a person to look internally, like reflect.
yeah,
And, talking to Suman or other people in our community, they're just a sounding board for you, right? They're just giving you
yeah.
feedback. So good. That's a great accomplishment even for yourself. So kudos to that. But sorry, Suman, you had a comment?
No, yes, and I was just wanted to give kudos to you, Maunil, because
Yeah.
it takes a lot of willpower and courage. Like, you
Yeah.
have gone through a lot of setbacks. And one thing I want to remind to the podcast people, like, uh, they feel that only bad things happen to them. No, I think when you talk to, what we do at Infinite is we talk to each other, like we are a very connected community, and that's how we believe in, rather than, being those isolated things. So a lot of things we know about each other, right? So when you talk to each other and, you're helping each other, you realize that, setbacks happen with everyone. And
Hmm.
one thing what I keep telling myself whenever I'm in a setback is this is not the last setback. Like, unless and until we all have to pass, from this world, which is inevitable as of now. This is not my last, problem in life, right? So we just focus on the solution. And second good thing, which, is important in real estate or anything in life is, I think Jason and I, we have seen countless people, many people reach out to us. They want to learn real estate thing, right? And more or less instantly, you can figure out what's happening, right, in their mind.
Hmm.
Because uh, what happens is taking steps forward is scary, like real estate are scary transactions, right? So you need to be in constant touch, talking to people
Yeah.
who have been there before you, so that they can guide you where you are going wrong. And it's not that it's a mistake, it's an opportunity where you can improve yourself, right? So these are the two great things I have seen in you,
Yeah.
that,
And
yeah, this,
I was going to say too, yeah. In the Chinese language, chaos, the word for chaos is also the word for opportunity, right?
right,
Absolutely.
And I think you've taken that really to heart, right? Where
Yes.
I call it chaos because I do remember Maunil, great ideas, great visionary, right? But in
right,
many places, right? So now I think owning it is good, and I do agree, Suman. I mean, it's sort of that shift, right? But I think it also is connecting with the right people, and I think
right, people,
for our
yes,
internet community and having the right people to help guide you in the right way is key.
right,
And I
Hmm.
think um, we have not only for you to benefit from the community here, we've also been inspired by you actually taking it to heart and executing Manuel, right, and
right,
connecting with other people. So it's certainly both
absolutely.
ways.
and
Absolutely. Yeah.
and
I would say that connecting with, sorry, go ahead, Sumit.
no, no, please go on, Monel.
No, all I was saying is that, yes, connecting with the right people with the right mindset is very, very important. Any in any stage of life, in anything you do, right? So good to be part of this similar like community with the like-minded people with the growth mindset.
Right,
And I have been, as I said, I have been fortunate to be surrounded by those people who I can call them close friends now, as well
right,
as a lot of other, having same mindset, same goals and objectives, and working towards that, right? So this is like in any other industry, you would say that it's competition, but I think it's more of a co-opetition, and then everybody's working towards the same goal, and everybody's in the different lanes. So there is
and
no one competing in the same market, but we help each other out, and
Yeah.
that's how it is, right? So this
Yeah.
is the true meaning of sharing is caring. Now I know, where I keep on telling my kids and son,
And my tell
Right.
this
you too.
this this is
Sharing is
this
caring.
is I see it live right now, and
Um,
everybody is so helpful.
and
Yes.
I just want to share my phrase, and I think I've said it before, is a rising tide raises all ships, right?
Yeah.
Hmm.
We help raise the level of everybody. We all win. So Munel, to your point, yeah, it only helps you if you're to share. And
Yeah.
I think that's a key mind shift change for even us as well as mentors, right? Is to make sure that what we're doing is actually also helping us, right? It's not only a one-way street, which is
Right.
yeah.
Always a win-win, right? So that's how in real
Hmm.
estate we tell people it has to be win-win. Like I have seen like some of my best investors, they have denied even higher, better rewarding terms for them because
Yeah.
they said, I will be only winning, but you will not be winning. So then, they have reduced the rewards for them. And that's a classic sign of a true leader, right? My father always says that, there are two types of people. One will grow by putting someone else down,
Hmm.
and another will be, who will lift everyone up and, grow together. So I
Mhm.
believe, at Infinite, we like to be someone who takes people together, right? So I really like that investor, who says that. And I was surprised, like, from our side we always try to give more, wherever, but there is a balance, so these are the kind of people you want to, and that was a revealing moment for me. And Monil, so what will be like, what are the next things that, what is your 2024 vision, and what is a beyond vision, like any markets that you are targeting, or like this is the minimum units that you're like, what are some of the bucket points for you that you would like to
Yeah.
share?
Sure. So in 2024, I think I mentioned earlier, I'm at least targeting for 45 units
Yeah.
this year.
Yes.
And I want to focus more on US as well.
Nice.
So the markets I'm targeting over there is Texas and North Carolina or Carolinas, even Tennessee. So Midwest,
Right.
Mid East. Sorry, my bad. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's the and again Canada. I'm also focused on Western Canada, which is Edmonton, Alberta market, and I'm looking forward to another deal with uh,
Awesome.
with you guys, so with you and Jason this year as well on multifamily front. So my goal, long term goal within the next 2 years is to at least own 100 units by
Awesome.
2026.
Awesome. And I think if you have the right mindset, I think you can even, touch that by 2025 end. So, that's pretty achievable. So, and second thing, you come from sales and marketing background, and, I've seen you, how confident you are. So, Jason, we went to a common networking meetup, and like I saw you were like talking to people whom you don't even know, so that shows your confidence. So what are some of the tips, people who are introvert, or they are very scared of people, and we know networking is important for building relationship and capital raising. What will be some of the tips you would like to share in terms of building relation?
Uh, well, as I have learned from my experience, because I'm not great in numbers, for example, right? And that's why we have to start from somewhere. So it's just when we talk about mindset, it's just take step one, as we discussed, right? Just go and say hi to someone, for example, like if or go with your friend, if somebody who you are comfortable with, but you need to take step one. Like that's, as you and we all mentioned earlier, that taking that first step is the hardest step. So just reaching out to people, start communicating with someone who you have already connected with before. Facebook, social media marketing. This is what I learned from one of the courses you conducted, right? So reaching out to, communicating with people, or just sharing providing some inputs. If you know something, just comment
Right.
on there, or share with them that this is what I did, and that's how it kind of opens up uh, more avenues to network. And
Right.
one thing I always say, that networking is like a bank. You need to invest and then you can withdraw. So
Exactly.
always contribute, um, and keep feeding or keep helping others. And that's what I learned as well from you guys and from other community members, right? So that's what I've been being humble, being able to help others,
Yes.
and being open to feedback. So
Yeah.
things like the small steps you take will help you to break those ice, and then yeah, you can suddenly you will have soon you will be surrounded by people who you trust, and you will have more solid network around you.
I was going to say, I want to double. I do appreciate the banking analogy. And I want to say that continue on that, it will pay dividends, right? Because every dollar you
Yes.
put in will grow compounding interest over time, you know, because you keep putting in, it'll just
Yeah.
grow growth. And I just want to just add on to Suman's question about, communicating and networking, because you're very good at that. But
Yeah.
to another level where you were managing, founding, and designing real estate meetups, right? I've never done
Hmm.
it before, right? Any tips and tricks, or not tricks, how many tips or best practices do you feel, what you maybe you can share with our audience on, like, how you would even design something like that? Because I think for a lot of people, Maunil, that's another level, right? You can talk to, I can meet
Oh
one
wow.
person, but to design something like that, like, any suggestions, any best practices you can share?
Well, when you yeah, for me it was very natural, because that's what I never it was never a kind of an effort for me right at that time, because all I realized that I was trying to, as you mentioned, right, whenever the times are tough, I was trying to find what avenues we can leverage right now to maximize the return or maximize the outcome. So I would so in that, when we're talking about meetups, I realized that at the time this we had the solid community, but nobody was interacting. And GTA is a big, like, a lot of members were there, like majority of the members were in the GTA, and there were no in person or no connection. So we were, like, virtual is good. So yeah, I started, like, first of all, I found a place which can host us. There was someone else who initially, who kind of assisted, partnered with me as well in co-hosting that. So again, found someone who was willing to partner or help. And what I would say is, just start reaching out to people and just say, hey, you know what, this is what if everybody's interested, I'll just host the meeting somewhere, right? And find a common ground, um, and
But
just
I, but I,
execute it.
but I think, yeah, and thank you for that. I think you're very humble too, because I think one of the things that I don't think you mentioned was you created a relationship with the venue, right? Like,
Yes.
you had a connection there. I remember you telling me this, that, like, I asked, like, how did
And
you set it up? And you said, oh, you created, like, a connection with the manager, right? Right?
the owner.
Yeah, the owner. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
So again, another good thing is, I'm being in sales, I'm good in negotiation. So
That's
not
good.
only I created a relationship, they even offered some free appetizers for the group. So that was another negotiation I did. So
Yeah.
anyway, with that said, uh, because it's a second nature to me, I never had to put an effort in doing that. So, but if somebody is introvert, it's just, again, taking the first step. And it's hard, right? Like, if I have to do
Yeah.
something else which you and Suman are expert, or others are have an expertise in, I find it very, I feel stuck somewhere, right? So it's just taking the small steps, like connecting with people, and then, even, start breaking it into pieces, right? Don't create a big objective, like, just break it out in a small, edible, like,
Well, yes,
digestible,
exactly.
edible pieces, right, which you can chew at one at a time. So maybe, yeah, just first step is to just meet with 5 people, then they connect with
Yeah.
10, and then, okay, say, let's meet together in just in a small
Well,
cozy setup,
I,
five or five, 6 people, and then you scale further and grow
I,
from there.
And I think I akin this to like real estate deals, right? Where you're very good at negotiating, and I do foresee your 100 doors coming sooner than that, by the way. I think you can do it. I always tell
Finger
Suman this,
crossed.
cut your time in half. Get there now, right?
Yeah.
But I would say that, repeatable best practices. And I think it was great
Yeah.
because I've been to, I think, 2 or 3 of your meetups. I wish I could go to more. But the first time around, you had the people come together, and you had speakers, which is fantastic. You had that relationship with the owner. I mean, gosh, Suman, I don't know if I know any owners of any businesses. I don't know how Maunil negotiated that,
Yeah.
um, but then I also had these traditions where people are looking forward to not only the speaker, but
Yeah.
then you coined the phrase, and I don't know if this is copyrighted or not. Pantastic. When we go to a
Yeah.
pontastic, we went to
Fantastic. Yeah. So
pontastic.
we used
Yeah,
to have that
and
thing,
maybe you can describe for
like
the
Indian
people.
bitter leaf.
People don't
Yeah.
know what pon is. I know what it is, but maybe you can describe Suman or Manuel.
Yeah, it's mainly a betel like leaf in the
Little nut
shape
leaf.
of
Yeah.
like a heart, and in that, you fill all these sweet stuffs. So after the meetup, Monil and I used to take up our real estate friends, and irrespective of from what background they come. So another good
Yep.
thing was, they also enjoyed, and it was a good experience. So we named it like instead of fantastic experience, like a fantastic experience. So
You
even
had pontastic, yeah.
yeah, so something
Trademark.
which
Manuel, trademark. That's yours. Just trademark.
yeah. So
Pontastic.
that was the best moment. We like, and few things I'm learning from you,
Yep.
Monel. As we speak is the if which anyone who is starting out in real estate can do, because some of the question Jason and I we get is I'm starting in real estate. I have no experience. What should we do? Or I'm just maybe have one or two properties, like the way you said, how we can go out, right? So I think two good things that you did. One was you use some of the skills from your life and your work, like sales. You're good with people, negotiation, right? Those things do come up helpful in real estate, right? Because real estate is not like an individual entity, it's a combination of all the things, right? So you used first what you did, you used your transferable skills into the real estate world, like how do you set up the networking, building relation, making sure you're using your negotiation skills to get something better for the audience, thinking from their perspective. And the second thing that you said, you said like, I'm not good with the numbers, or I don't have multifamily experience or contacts outside Ontario. So what you did, you decided to partner or come in the circle where people have been there, done that, right? So what you're doing is you're bringing your skills and combining it, being in the right circle. And then you started with condo, now you're in 40 50s units, and then you are eventually going to go for 100, right? So these are the two great takeaways I think I'm learning from you, and which anyone starting or stuck in their real estate can apply. Anything else you want
For
to add, Moil, on that?
for sure. So I think I would just go back to the comments you were making that somebody who's introvert, right? How do they be successful? So as you and we all know, real estate is a teamwork.
Right,
So you need this when you are talking about multifamilies. You would need people who are financially sound. You would need
right,
people who are able to go and negotiate. You would need people who are able to just manage the project
right.
management, right? Asset management. So there are so many aspects in when you talk about this whole portfolio and real estate investing. You will have to find your niche within what you are comfortable with, and you
Yeah,
team up with others where they can fill the gap which you have. So
right.
that's what you just mentioned, right? So it's good collaboration and is the key. That's what I feel, and I strongly relate to that. So that it's
Right.
not a it's not a solo game. If you
No,
want to
not at all.
success in the long run, so if you
Exactly.
want to go far and be more successful, then
Yeah,
you need to collaborate. You need to partner. Do a partnerships. So it's everyone can do that. Like, whoever
right.
has the skills and niche, they can collaborate, they can partner with someone who can help with the other skill sets they don't have, and they can create a winning team. And that's what I'm doing and working
Awesome.
towards it. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
And there is a saying, I think, if they say that if you want to go fast, go alone, but if you
Yeah.
want to go far, go together, right? And we all wish good for people and want everyone goes far, and that's why we feel that let's all grow together,
Yeah.
and have those infinite success and happiness. That's our main belief.
And I wanted just to add on to this quickly is just I we are also really love to hear your thoughts around how you pivot because you're very resilient, Maunil. A lot of people may give up, right, when they're
Hmm.
a journey early on. I think you started with condos, the town, right, and you're pivoting a lot, and I think a lot of people are not even comfortable doing that. To be able to not it's not an admission because I feel any step you take in your real estate journey is a learning opportunity, but taking that learning opportunity and then using it, right? So and I think you told me before you exited your old strategy, you got rid of your old strategy
Hmm.
and started a new again. Like, was that difficult for you? Because like some people, even myself, when early on, it was hard, right, to exit. You spent time. At one time you said, "This is my dream. I'm going to do this," and then, oh no, I'm going to throw it out the window and just try again, do something different. Like, was it hard for you, Anil?
It is. It is hard. All this because initially you believe in something and then it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So rather than beating yourself on it and kind of diving into it, uh, it's okay to admit that it was wrong. Not wrong, but maybe there are all external factors which will come into play, right? It's not because your decision are based on the given scenario, given situation. Yes, if you have a crystal ball, of course you would foresee the future, but unfortunately not all of us. And then some are that's where the experience comes from, right? So when you are starting, you have limited knowledge and you take decisions based on that. So of course, yes, it's hard, and that's what I'm still. I'm still getting out on some of my other investments. So I am phasing it in a as and when the market conditions kind of
Yeah.
favors that. But yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow, I would say, and it's okay to admit that because I believe it's never a mistakes. It's all learning opportunities. So I
Mhm.
the more opportunities you have, you will be better in the future projects. So
Yeah.
that's another thing which I always, whenever I'm talking to other community members, I said I can share a lot of learning opportunities for the team. So which not to do, like what not to do, or where we can
Right,
where you will fall into a trap or something like that. So
right.
that's another thing you can bring to the table, and I don't shy away from mentioning that, like we made mistakes and I learned from it, and yeah, the important thing is don't repeat that. So
I
Yes,
as
I,
far
wa- I
as we don't, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. No, I wanted to share a quote before I get it. Like, as I know, Suma, you got your citizenship recently, so congratulations to that.
Yes,
thank you.
One of the
congratulations.
key Canadian quotes I always hear is,
Yeah,
you miss
Right.
100% of the shots you don't take." And
right.
it's a hockey analogy because, Canada is a hockey country. I guess we're
Yeah,
good at the sport,
yeah,
but you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. And Monil, I think, exemplifies taking many shots, right? So
right.
do you agree with that, Monil? Because I feel,
No, yes,
Yes, I
absolutely.
would say that I'm sometimes I'm all over, and my good friend here, Suman, have pointed that out to me as well. Like, hey, like, that's what it is. Everybody has those. Like, nobody's perfect.
Yes,
And it happens, right? You're
right,
based on your personality, you would have some of those traits which will kind of hold you back, and that's why it's important to be surrounded by someone or be along with someone who understands that journey and who can kind of anchor, is like an work as an anchor, right? Like, hey, hold you back or be accountable, and that's why you need a team who is solid and who you kind of work in the long run.
and another thing I believe is the accessibility, right? Like we never hold back any of the infinitors. Like if they need help,
Oh yeah.
we try to. Like yesterday, I was in transit, and I think Jason was in a meeting. Like one of the group needed some feedback on their deal, like to take some decisions, right? So These
I wasn't in a
qualities,
meeting. I was buying craft dinner at Shoppers Drug Mart. So
yes. So even then, we provided the accessibility because we have gone through the pain of, where you need help, be it from a
Mhm.
property manager or contractor, and we
Mhm.
have we haven't heard for weeks, right? So we know the pain, right? So we don't want any of the infinitors to go through that. Um and sometimes, just 10 minutes of our conversation with them helps
Mhm.
them make multi-million dollar decisions, right? Like that deal was worth millions of dollars. And, when you go with a wrong deal, it is chaotic, right? So just 10 minutes if they can send it. That's where we differentiate people, being in the Infinite community. Jason and I, when we are talking to people, we just try to read their mindset and willingness to learn, like, because otherwise, they will be infectious for the entire community, right? We don't want such people. And it all starts with the right mindset. Like if they're stuck with, you know oh, investment, saving, like, those things, it gives us a vibe. Like if they are struggling in that range, like, nothing right or wrong, but we know, like Jason and I, we know how the deals can go bad in spite of, doing so many due diligence and all, right? But if you cannot handle those numbers or not pivot, they will do more harm to them. So that's why we usually prevent them from coming in. But in your view, we saw that, you are going through so many setbacks, but you still were, standing tall and fighting against it, right? And those qualities are helping you in real estate as well.
No, I would say that it's a huge shout out to you both, Suman and Jason, that you have been always there to help me and other infinitors. And as I mentioned earlier, those long hours and spend that is huge, huge, because I have been in spending thousands and thousands. I've spoken to so many other investors who are spending upwards of $25,000, and still they are not able. They don't have accessibility to their coach or mentors, like in the real time, or because it's, yeah, it's in this industry you have to be very careful, or in any, but
Any
in
industry,
here
right?
specifically, there are thousand ways to fail, and there's one only, like, one way to succeed. So there are so many nuances in any deal, and especially when we talk about complex multifamily projects, the small insights, small, like very very small overlook can cost you
Right.
thousands and thousands of dollars worth of loss. So having that guidance, that support, and that community who has experience in going through that, and just
Right.
pointing those out is huge, huge. So that's really commendable that you have created that environment. And as you mentioned, it kind of trickles down in the community itself. Like you are being humble, you are helpful, and that everybody else also kind of shared the same site, that okay, yeah, we need to, like, that kind of trickles down in the community as well.
yeah,
So
So,
it's
yeah.
it you lead by example, I would say that, and which is great.
and I think for us, I wanted to emphasize is that thank you for sharing that. If the infinite community we started, Suma and I, not to just mimic other real estate programs out there, but provide a quality small community that has
Hmm.
accessibility to us or our partners, right, as we work through this, because we feel that it's the quality and results are most important to us, not you know uh, cookie cutter and the masses, right, the maximum number of people in program if possible. So thank you for that, Maunil, and I'm glad you feel that way, because the hours are fun for us. And hey, you know what? We work together. We take shifts, but we can cover those. What was that, like 5 hours? 4 or 5 hours?
Yeah.
We can do it. So
Yeah, and it is not to, muscle up or say that, hey, we are
yeah,
putting these many, but when people need it, right? Because for us, Jason and I, our investors, our business partners, and mentees, these are our priority community people, right?
Hmm.
So we always want to make sure that, they are happy, because if they are not happy, uh, we feel somehow that we are doing a disservice to them. That's all. So it's not to
mhm,
muscle up and say that, oh, we are putting so many hours, but we genuinely love the industry, like, the challenge and the reward it brings. And also we enjoy these kind of like-minded people, who are challenging themselves, because it's not easy, right? Real estate. But when you are
Yeah.
with people around who are motivating you, like I remember there have been so many milestones where I have been falling down, and had Jason been not there, right? Sometimes just talking to him makes me lift my spirits up, right? So everyone will fall down, like books, YouTube's. I can read through all, but I cannot. The accessibility to Jason, and just as a friend, as a business partner, and as an experienced investor, is way more valuable than I can search thousands of things. But no book or YouTube video will give me the real time support, which we need. And that's what we try to share with the Infinite community as well, because we have gone through several pains, like I think in last 2 3 months, we will be kind of acquiring more than 100 units, right? In that short time
Mhm.
frame, Jason is working on his own multifamilies as well. So we have gone through those transitions and roller coasters, so we know how painful it is. Like, it's a stressful world out there, so we just try to share the lessons from our mistakes too in our future deals, and also with Infinator, so that overall everyone can avoid making that mistake. So
No, this is commendable. I mean, as there's a term, right? You need a wingman. So when you
yes.
have it, the flying is smooth, right? Because there are so many, as we said, there are so many potholes, there are so many roadblocks, obstacles, and even sometimes we don't know, right? What we don't know. So understanding or knowing that small minutiae within
Great.
any deal, right? Because as we discussed, like there are million ways to fail in any prod in real estate, because there are so many external factors, economic conditions, scenarios, plus moving pieces to the puzzle are there, in whenever you are trying to acquire a project or a property
Great.
at the scale. So having that knowledge, having that insights, and somebody to guide is huge, and that's it's not worth in
and
it's worthless. I would say that, yeah.
And you mentioned, you are collaborating with some other Infinitors, like whom you did
Yeah.
not meet before, right? So are you guys right now focusing on Alberta or some other markets also together?
Yeah, so the Edmonton properties, the multifamily projects which I mentioned earlier, is our joint collaboration through with other infinitors.
Awesome. And
Um,
why did you choose Alberta like over Ontario? Like, what are some of the factors which led you to move, outside Ontario?
uh, Good question. It's okay. So I'll lay it down. Possibly you guys and a lot of people would agree to that, because Ontario, first thing is it's not landlord friendly. So that's primary. Second is when we talk about the ROI, the DCR, the numbers, and
Right.
which makes financial sense, considering the price where they are, price per door, and making it work in a cash flow. When we talk about cash flow, it's very, very hard to achieve that. And I would say third is the it's the competition. Right? It's very, very, very high and tense here, right? So whereas in other provinces, it's competitive. Yes, it is competitive, but not that much. But the other two factors play a key role. Where it's a landlord friendly, Alberta again is a landlord friendly state. So as an investor, you want something. You need some law behind you. You need flexibility. Of course, it. We always believe in win-win situation, and I've learned from Jason, you as well, that meaningful investment. So we want
Yeah.
to create and provide that great environment for others to live and call their home, and but as well we don't want to suffer because of some bad elements getting into or connecting with our properties. And we as an investor, right, we with our all good motive, we don't want to take financial loss because of some some other issue, or someone who wants to get free rents for life.
Yes.
So things like that. So that's why Alberta, and that price wise, it's also really competitive in a way where it makes sense, where you can put when you put the numbers to work, it does make sense to have a good, decent cash flow and and appreciation in the long run.
Absolutely. And I think, Jason, you have pretty good experience in the Alberta market, right? So, anything else you want to share, like why Alberta from your perspective, apart from these great points which Monil shared?
Yeah, I think, and thanks for that, Maunil. It's meaningful investments is key, and I think you have to remember in 2023, and it's tough. Well, first of all, the whole globe was affected by COVID, right? My daughter, who's a bit younger, is so used to wearing them. Actually, only remembers when she was young in COVID, right? And it affects a lot of Canadians. And I would say Northern Alberta got hit double whammy, right? So first,
Yeah.
the economy up there was hurt very badly during COVID because a lot of their industry is resource, focused, such as oil, right? Where when COVID hit, they couldn't go to work, right? They had to stay indoors. It was lockdown, right? So the economy was hurt bad. Secondly, too, is if you guys remember, in I think it was like early 2023, the forest fires. Remember, there were like fires
Yeah.
everywhere in northern Alberta. So just when they were getting out of the whole pandemic that we all suffered through, right? We got through it together. They got hit again with a very isolated fire, right? So they came back and then they had to evacuate again, right? But as I said, out of chaos, there's opportunity. And I think for any of the multifamily investors like you, Maunil, to go in that region is very key with that mindset of, okay, these regions, Edmonton and around Edmonton, they've been hit really hard in 2023. How can we, as serious real estate investors, professional real estate investors as a group, go in and improve what they have there? Maybe some of these properties are less well maintained because it was evacuated
Mhm.
twice, right? People didn't care about it. Maybe there were foreclosures too because people couldn't pay, they couldn't work. So I would say for me, that's why I was so bullish on the Edmonton, Northern Alberta market because they got hit pretty hard. And I think for us, Suman and I, we closed a 24 unit, but I just closed a 27 unit as well, right? I think with these bigger multifamilies that are only possible through joint ventures, Maunil, which is what you're doing as well, can really make that impact and that meaningful impact for people that have been suffering for these tragedies, right? So
Yeah,
that's the
that's a
reason
very
why.
valid reason.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
that's the reason why, and that's how the reason why I'm so excited about Alberta.
Amazing, amazing. I think these are great points. And any final tip for Monil, those who are stuck moving forward in their real estate or maybe just starting out before we conclude the podcast?
I would just say take step one.
Take
Don't
step
think
one.
about take step one, right? Wherever you feel stuck, just
Good
take
one.
the next one, and
Awesome.
then figure out the rest. Because I was in the same spot, not that far back, but just take first step, and things will work out.
Awesome. And how can people reach you, if they want to learn more about your REI journey, or, if they need some mortgage help,
Yeah.
where can they find you?
Yeah. So my Insta handle is _Maunil.Parikh.
Okay.
And I could be found on Facebook as well, and Maunil Parikh, MAUNIL PARIKH.
Awesome. Awesome. It was
Amazing.
great to have you, Monel, at the podcast, and thank you so much for sharing all these amazing things. And we are really, fortunate, Jason and I, that, you are part of the Infinite community and getting value from it.
And I was going to say I'm looking forward to the next fantastic experience. So let's do it.
Yes,
Can't
absolutely.
wait. And thanks
Yes.
again, guys. Wonderful. Thanks for creating this wonderful community, and thanks again for inviting me on this podcast. And looking forward to many more successes together in the future.
Awesome. Let's grow together. And thank you, everyone, those who are watching. See you in the next Infinite Capital podcast. Cheers.
See you guys.
Thank